Hello friends, looking at current affairs for 19th April. The news items picked up from the Hindu newspaper are these 19. We'll look at them in detail. The first one, Meteorological Department expects a normal monsoon but doubts loom. So this is Indian Meteorological Department which has given its first official forecast for the monsoon season this year. So it is saying that we are likely to get a normal monsoon. But then the concerns, doubts which are there are that first, that there is a threat of El Nino too, which is predicted even by international weather forecasters, and also the new weather model which has been adopted by Indian Meteorological Department now, that is the dynamic model. So this is still a work in progress. So these are the concerns too. Last year too, the forecast which was given by Indian Meteorological Department was above normal range, but actually we had 3% less. So this is there. Also 5% error margin is already there built in. So this is also has to be taken care of. And before 2016, the last 2 years had been drought years for India, 2014 and 15. So this is the concern. So basically it depends on El Nino too. And even the pre-monsoon rains presently in Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Kerala have been deficient. So we will have to wait and watch what happens for the present monsoons. So El Nino basically is when the surface waters of equatorial Pacific warm up more than half a degree. So when here above normal warming takes place of the waters, then El Nino conditions are generated. So these result in dry monsoon rainfalls in India, Australia. So here it happens every 6 out of 10 years. So this is about El Nino. Another climatic phenomena is Indian Ocean dipole. So this is the swing in sea surface temperatures in the western and eastern Indian Ocean. So when it is a positive dipole, means in the western Indian Ocean, if water is warm, then monsoon is favorable, and if it is negative, then Indian Ocean dipole, then it results in deficient rainfall. So it affects the Indian monsoon too. So you can see. So this is regarding El Nino, La Nina. So this is the southern Pacific Ocean here, equatorial Pacific Ocean. This is South America. This is Australia. So here when the temperatures become more than average normal warm, then it results in the, you can see the circulation going up. So by warm water. So warm water results in air above getting warmer too, and warm air rises up. Condensation takes place when it goes up. Clouds are formed and precipitation takes place here only. And it is cooler here. And this here, this is the El Nino condition. This is La Nina condition. So normally here the waters are cool, but when it is more cooler than normal, then it is La Nina condition. So in this case, then you can see warm waters are here. So precipitation would also take place in this region, Australia and even in India. So this is there. So this is also called ENSO, El Nino Southern Oscillation. So this is a term given because, so this southern oscillation basically, as it is called, is the feedback loop. So what happens is atmosphere and ocean interact. Ocean is warm, atmosphere gets warm, air above gets warm. So they reinforce each other, and this feedback loop is generated which amplifies the small changes which take place in the state of the ocean, means small change in the ocean temperature. So this is called ENSO, El Nino Southern Oscillation. So this is regarding El Nino and La Nina. They are also named, you must be knowing that El Nino is named after, is a Spanish term. It means boy child. So this generally the conditions develop along the south coast during December in Christmas. So around Christmas, that's why it's called El Nino. And La Nina translates in Spanish as girl child. So this is that. Then what is Indian Ocean dipole? So Indian Ocean dipole is also called as Indian Nino. So this is irregular oscillation of sea surface temperatures in which western Indian Oceans become alternately warmer and cooler than the eastern part. So we are on the western side. So western part of Indian Ocean is the coast along the Bay of Bengal. So this side here along below the Bay of Bengal here. So here what happens is that when here the temperatures are warmer, then it is beneficial for us. So this is called the positive phase, greater than average sea surface temperatures in the western Indian Ocean. So warm water, air above warm, condensation when it goes up, because warm air goes up. So this results in cloud formation and rainfall. So positive phase of Indian Ocean dipole is beneficial for India, and negative phase is not. So this is regarding Indian Ocean dipole. Then there is another oscillation too called Madden-Julian oscillation. So this also takes place here in the Asian region, you can see here. So this is called the largest element of intra-seasonal variability in tropical atmosphere. So this also is an oscillation which takes place, but this is a moving oscillation. Madden-Julian oscillation is called traveling pattern. El Nino Southern Oscillation is a standing pattern. So this propagates eastwards. So this is the movement as such which takes place. It propagates eastwards. So this you can see eastwards progression of large regions of both enhanced and suppressed tropical rainfall, which are observed mainly over Indian and Pacific Ocean. So there is this another oscillation too, but this is not presently being part of our discussion as such. We are basically concerned with El Nino and Indian Ocean type. Then next is Malia held, released on bail. So this is regarding Vijay Malia. So we have been demanding extradition of Vijay Malia from UK. So now steps have been taken. He was arrested in London but granted a bail now. So we'll see what happens further on this case. India and UK have an extradition treaty. So extradition means when a person is accused in a particular country, the other country cooperates and sends that person to the country. So that is called extradition. So this India-UK extradition treaty is of 1993. But for 23 years, none had been extradited under this treaty. The first one took place in 2016. This was Samir Bhai Vinubhai Patel. He was extradited from UK on charges in which he was accused in the 2002 Gujarat riots case. So let's see what happens to Vijay Malia too. So we already have a list given to UK. So Vijay Malia is called. Even Tiger Hanif, an aide of Dawood Ibrahim, he is wanted in 2 terror cases. Ravi Shankaran, Iqbal Mirchi, Nadeem Saifi, accused in Gulshan Kumar murder case. So all these are the lists which we have already given to UK. So we'll have to wait what happens on this case. To Vijay Malia, you should know he is defaulting on the loan. So it is 9,000 crore loan default which is there and which he is wanted. Then next is May for snap polls in UK on June 8. So this is Theresa May, British Prime Minister. She has announced snap general elections in June now. So what has happened is 2015 elections should take place after 5 years. So earlier she had also stated that no general elections would take place till 2020 as is expected. But now she has announced snap elections. So because she wants more power, so the government has the assertive power to ensure that post EU exit, post Brexit, the controls can be taken care of and Britain is smoothly sailed through the Brexit. So this has been announced. So this is the case. So you can see legislation had come up in UK in 2011. So fixed term for parliaments and elections should take place every 5 years had been provided for. But then there is a provision that parliament can be dissolved and an election can be triggered if 2/3 of the members of House of Commons agree to it. So now this is expected will be taken ahead. Then next is Australia visa cut to hit Indian IT workers. Now Australia is also going ahead. It has scrapped this 457 visa program, so under which many Indians were hired by Australian companies for skilled jobs. So this cuts have been made. So the government has announced that new visa system would be brought in now. So this is one of the visa program as such. So India has also said that because Australia is taking up steps cutting down on visa norms here. So India-Australia negotiations on CECA, Comprehensive Economic Cooperation Agreement, will also be affected. So negotiations would be affected is what India is also stating. So Australian Prime Minister Mr. Turnbull was in India on a visit few days back. So now this step being taken is actually taken India by aback too as such. So this you can see the visa tenures have also been reduced for many visas as such. Then visa fees is bound to increase and restrictions will be there. It can be used to fill only critical skill shortages. So this has been announced. So many Indians are benefited under the 457 visas. So 76% of the total were Indians. So this is there, and even 57% of permanent migrant visas are also issued to Indians. This is the last year's data. The next is 13 Indians reported killed in US bombing. So this is MOAB, mother of all bombs, the massive ordnance air blast which took place, GBU-45, by USA in Afghanistan. So this was the Nangarhar province, targeting the Islamic State. So here it is reported now that 13 Indians have also been killed. So we have many Indians names which NIA has who had gone and joined IS. So now NIA is also verifying whether these claims are true or not. Then next is Supreme Court questions Army's silence. So this is a case before the Supreme Court about a Manipuri girl, Thangjam Manorama, who was murdered in 2004. So there are charges that she had suffered brutal and merciless torture on the hands of the Assam Rifles team here. So the judicial inquiry report has been sought here. So a commission of inquiry has been appointed by Manipur government. So this, the army has not cooperated as such, because even Manipur government is accused by the Supreme Court that it did not ask for army to provide assistance as well. So army says in this case that there was only violation of laid down procedures which had taken place, but then a compensation of 10 lakh has also been given in this case of Manorama. So here the Supreme Court is also questioning that only for violation of procedures 10 lakh compensation was provided. So what is the matter further? What is it all about? It has to be dealt with. So the RB says we are not averse to an inquiry by a high ranking officer. So we'll see what happens here. So Attorney General on behalf of Army to the Supreme Court, they said that Army does not come within the jurisdiction of this commission of inquiry appointed by Manipur government. So state government cannot have any jurisdiction over what the army does. So now we'll have to wait and watch what happens in this case. Also another case is of a 15-year-old girl in 2003. She was allegedly raped by 2 army personnel. So here also she committed suicide and nothing has gone ahead on this. So again the Attorney General here says that yes, she was raped is true, but whether the army personnel was involved or not, that is just an allegation. That has not been proved. So again the question arises, why has it not been proved and what is going on? So this is the status of human rights in Manipur where AFSPA is in place. So this is the case before the Supreme Court now. Next is India opposes genocide charges. So this is regarding the Canadian Defense Minister who is on a visit to India. So India is protesting against the genocide charges which have been posed against India. So this genocide of 1984. So you should know this is in context of the anti-6 riots which took place. So this was after Indira Gandhi was assassinated, of course, by the Sikh bodyguard of hers, and this was post the Operation Blue Star, in which the battle tanks were taken inside Golden Temple in Amritsar, in which Jarnail Bhindranwale, he was killed also. So this is the incident, and post which, because Sikhs were antagonized because of their holy temple being desecrated by the army as such. So this, because there were bullet holes marks everywhere. So that was Operation Blue Star. So post that, her own Sikh bodyguard assassinated then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, and post Indira Gandhi's assassination there were anti-Sikh riots, especially in Delhi and across India too. So these riots are called genocide, and actually there is a bill which has been introduced in Canadian Provincial Assembly. So this is being questioned by India, but the visiting defense minister says that this is only a private member bill. This is not the government's bill also, and it was introduced in the context of local elections there. So there is a Sikh population in Canada as such. So this is what his response was, and this is not Canada's stand that it was genocide. So this is the clarification given. Also defense cooperation related discussions took place. The next is Hindi may become must till class 10 in CBSE schools. So this is the recommendation of Committee of Parliament on Official Languages. So now Hindi will become compulsory for all CBSE Kendriya Vidyalaya schools. So this proposal has gone forward and got the President's nod also. So now we'll have to wait and watch what happens. Actually CBSE had recommended 3 language formula, that there should be English and 2 Indian languages. So this should be there for 9th and 10th. But now Hindi being made compulsory is being called for. So of course, it is going to antagonize the southern states. So we'll see what happens further on this matter too. This is still a suggestion. The next is Center promises election reforms. So this is the case before the Supreme Court. So this was there in the lead article and the op-ed page actually yesterday. So this is on decriminalization of politics. So there is a PIL petition before the Supreme Court which is seeking debarring of convicts for life from contesting polls and stopping them from entering into judiciary and executive also. So no legislature, executive, judiciary membership can be sought by them. So this is a petition what is being demanded. The actual present law is that if a person is convicted on serious crimes for more than 2 years, then he is debarred from contesting elections for 6 years after completion of the term. So this is the present scenario, but they want it to be for life. So this is the PIL before the Supreme Court. The government here is saying that we are committed to decriminalization of politics to electoral reforms, and there's already a committee which has been set up. So this is task force is looking into how the law commission's recommendations on decriminalization of politics should be implemented. So we are looking into the matter. It says this is a legislature's domain because legislature will decide how the amendment should be done to Representation of People's Act of 1955. So based on that, this decision would be taken and changes made. So it says the Supreme Court itself has held in many cases that no mandamus can lie to the government for framing laws or introducing amendments to existing laws as such. So it means this is the domain of the legislature. So means mandamus means you are mandating that this should be done. So court cannot mandate because already there is a law in place. Already the government is looking into the matter. So what the government is trying to say is judiciary should not intervene. So this it says that there's no need for setting up another provision demanded is that special courts for MPs and MLAs should be set up for disposing criminal cases against them. So this also the government has said that this is unwarranted as long as cases are disposed of within a year. There is no need of special courts. So this is the response of government here. The next is Panama Papers leak. Center assures Supreme Court of probe. So this is the Panama Papers leak case. We have discussed this quite often now. So I'll not go into Panama Papers leak. What is it all about? But then the government has established this multi-agency group. So this is looking into the entire case, the black money case of Panama Papers leak. So here whoever are accused, their investigation is undertaken. Supreme Court is demanding, is there a need for a special investigation team, separate SIT which should be set up to look into this matter? The government says no, MAG is looking into the matter. So this is the case. So the government is saying that the PIL which is there before the Supreme Court on this Panama paper leak case, that there should be a SIT set up. This should be dismissed, that MAG is already looking into the matter and it is ensuring speedy probe against Indians who have been named. So there are around 500 high profile Indians who have their offshore accounts in Panama. So they have been named in these Panama Papers leak. Even many companies' names have also come forth. So this is being probed now. The next is new data safety regime from TRAI by Deepavali. So this is again center responding to the constitutional bench of the Supreme Court, which is looking into the WhatsApp case. So this is a PIL which has been filed that WhatsApp has given access to Facebook to the information and personal details of all its users. So this has been, petition has been filed that this is violating right to privacy and free speech. So this case is now before a constitution bench. So now the Attorney General representing the government, Mr. Mukul Rohatgi, he has said that TRAI is working on a new regulatory regime to ensure online data protection. So this comprehensively will be covered by this, and it says this will be ready by Deepavali. So we'll have to wait for that. And he also said that there is a right to be erased, which is a casualty presently in the internet age. Means this has to be upheld is what is meant. So casualty means it is not upheld. So right to be erased means that person has a right to wipe out his past demeanors. So here when earlier messages are passed on means your past is there with Facebook, whatever you have done earlier, whatever communication was there earlier. So this right to be erased basically means that whatever is there earlier, the history, that should be erased. So this is the right with the person. If he wants to, he can erase it. So this is actually practiced, right to be forgotten, in UK, US and EU. So we'll also look into this matter. The TRAI will come up with the details here. So this now, it says that right to be erased, one example is also given by the Attorney General. He says that a person commits a crime at a very young age of, say, age of 20. And when a search is done on him, that information comes up at the top. So then the person must have reformed, that is a long past forgotten, but still it continues to haunt him. So this is what also is being implied in right to be erased. So this is the case here. So this constitutional bench hearing will take place on April 24 now. So further developments will take place on this case of right to privacy online, in case of online context. Then next is Modi McMaster discuss security. So this is the US National Security Advisor, Mr. McMaster, who is in India. So the two Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Mr. McMaster had discussions. They discussed on Afghanistan, the West Asian region, the Syrian crisis also presently, and the Korean Peninsula crisis too. So these have been discussed and cooperation has been sought. They are going to, the two countries, India and USA, are going to advance regional peace, security and stability. increasing defense and counterterrorism cooperation. So no specific details have come out, but yes, the discussions did take place. Then next is CPEC unrelated to Kashmir issue, China. So this is regarding China-Pakistan economic corridor, which India is protesting against because it is passing through POK. So this from Kashgar region, Xinjiang province of China, to Gwadar port. This is called the China-Pakistan economic corridor. So this is also part of Belt and Road Initiative, OBOR, or what is also called OBOR, One Belt One Road Initiative of China. India is not ready to participate because of this concern. But China is insisting that India should also come forward and work together with China. So it is also saying that Bangladesh, China, India, Myanmar, BCIM economic corridor is also being supported and built by China. So this can also be expanded. So it is again inviting India to Belt and Road Initiative. So this, it says we are ready to advance it within the framework of Belt and Road Initiative. So here India is also involved. So this is BCIM, Bangladesh, China, India, Myanmar. The other initiatives are also being shown here. So this is the BBIN road, motor road agreement, which we have also passed. Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Nepal. Here we have discussed earlier that there are concerns here. This is not been possible because of Bhutan having concerns now. Then another one is Asian Trilateral Highway, More-Mysore. So from More it goes to Mysore in Thailand. And then there is Kaladan Multimodal Transit Project. So these are other infrastructure projects which we are developing. This is BCI, Bangladesh, China, India, Myanmar corridor. So this is also a proposed project. And this Kaladan Multimodal Transit Project, you should know, from West Bengal it goes to Myanmar and then it enters into northeast. So this is multimodal transit, means it uses the sea route, then it is inland waterway. This is the Kaladan river, and then this roadway to reach northeast India. Then next is RBI red flags banks telecom exposure. So banks in India are suffering from because of NPAs, non-performing assets, and now the RBI is saying that their exposure to telecom sector is also a red flag. Point of caution is raised here. So this is because telecom sector is undergoing financial stress because of the huge debt which they have taken, to the tariff war which is going on presently because of even arrival of Reliance Jio, and consolidation which is taking place. We saw the mergers also are taking place. So this is in the context of which RBI says that banks loans which have been given to telecom sector, for them the standard asset provisioning should be increased more than what is prescribed. So this is a suggestion given by RBI to banks now. So banks are required to make 0.4% provision for standard advances. So it wants the standard asset provisioning should be increased more than this. So this is being demanded. So you can see non-NPAs are 9.1% as of September 2016. Non-performing assets. Then next is IMF trims Indian growth forecast. So India's growth forecast has been trimmed by 0.4 percentage points by IMF, International Monetary Fund. So now it is 7.2%. So this came out in the annual World Economic Outlook report, which IMF comes out with. So this is the case. Even Indian government has said GDP growth would be 7.1% in the current fiscal. So this is, of course, the impact of demonetization also has to be taken into consideration. So this is how IMF has also given the reason that impact of demonetization is on the basis of which this has been brought down. The next is common duct policy soon. So center is going to bring out this common duct policy. So common duct basically will be laid down. So this TRAI, Telecom Regulatory Authority of India, is presently also carrying out a pilot project on this common duct. So it will be laid across cities so that service providers like telecoms and telecom players and even digital TV players, they can lease these ducts and pass their fibers through it. So, and then the fibers, cables which have to be passed. So this common duct policy actually will reduce the operational cost for firms also. It will remove the right of way challenges that they have right to pass as such, and also eliminate the need for frequently digging up the roads too. So this is the common duct policy now brought up, been under consideration by the government, which will come out soon. Then next is Railway seeks aid for unviable routes. So Railway Ministry is seeking compensation for operating railway lines of strategic and national importance. So this has been discontinued since the merger of the two budgets, Union budget and the Railway budget. So the finance minister has discontinued the practice of providing annual subsidies to railways. So now it cannot have these railway lines operational anymore. So railways is seeking compensation for this. Even two parliamentary bodies, Standing Committee on Railways and even the Estimates Committee. The Estimates Committee is headed by the ruling government's member. You can see Estimates Committee chair is BJP veteran Mulli Manohar Joshi. He has also said that union budget, the structural changes in union budget. So this was his report on structural changes in union budget, and he said that railways should continue to get reimbursed for losses on operation of strategic lines. So even Estimates Committee and also this committee on railway standing committee have both said that compensation should be provided. Finance Ministry is not providing this compensation now because the railways has also stopped giving annual dividends to finance minister. So because the budgets have been merged, dividends are also not being paid. So finance ministry is also not giving subsidies. This case is going to go ahead further. So we'll see what further developments happen on this matter too. The next is phase 1 clinical trial of Zika vaccine to begin next month. So this we have discussed 1 or 2 days back. Bharat Biotech International Limited, which is Hyderabad-based firm of India, it has developed Zika virus vaccine from a strain of African Zika virus strain, and it is working. 100% protection can be given by this to both Asian and African Zika virus strains, and it has been tested on mice, on animals. So now clinical trials will also start. So phase 1 clinical trials will start in India now. So this is the news. This is the Zika virus vaccine, MR766. So this is the case. So this killed Zika virus vaccine. If you recollect, we have discussed this. Then next, the last news item is buzz over photograph of Indian wolf in Sundarbans. So this is the Indian wolf photograph which has been captured by a tourist here. And Indian wolf as such is categorized as endangered species under IUCN. It is also under Schedule 1, means highest protection is provided to Indian wolf under Wildlife Protection Act of India too. But Indian wolf actually lives in scrublands, grasslands and semi-arid pastoral agricultural landscapes. And this Sundarbans, it is a mangrove forest. So detecting them here, it is a rare find actually. This is not their natural habitat. So that is why even the forest officials here say that the camera traps placed in this area have also not captured the wolf. So they have not confirmed that Indian wolf actually do exist in Sundarbans or not. But the photograph has come up, so the buzz is there. So Sundarbans has a population of tigers. Around 100 tigers are there in Sundarbans. And this is the IUCN categories. So these are the threatened species. So this is how it categorizes species. So vulnerable, endangered, critically endangered, and extinct in the wild, and finally the species may go extinct. So this is the scale. So this is it. Thank you.